very much, Jim. I appreciate that. Uh, like you said, my name is Jerry Minnick. I'm the program director for the Lake Sumter Computer Society in Leesburg, Florida. But right now, I'm actually at my summer home in northern Michigan, Lincoln, Michigan, in fact, and it's quite cool up here today. So here we go. I'm going to be talking about things that you can do to troubleshoot your computer when it has a problem. I have 33 slides. They're all PowerPoint or PDF, whichever you want. 9 of the slides are sample web pages. If you have a question as I go along, please, I'll keep my eye on chat. I'll answer questions as I can. At the very end of my presentation, you will see my email address, and feel free for anyone to email me at any time with additional questions or comments. Self-style troubleshooting is the kind of stuff that I like to do. I like to do it from my home, and what I'm talking about mainly is those kind of things that pop up on your computer and they bug you, and you want to find out why it's happening and what can I do about it. Or if you happen to get some kind of malware, such as a virus or an adware program that you don't want. Let me see if I can make this thing start. Okay. So, since I'm retired Navy, I use the standard Navy program. First, you tell people what you're going to talk about. Then at the end, you review what you talked about. And in the middle, we should have some content that can be rather interesting. First thing that you should be thinking about when you have a problem with your computer is capturing the problem. If you get an error pop-up on your screen, you need to know exactly what it says, and so I'm going to show you how you can capture that kind of information. Most of the problems that I run into when I'm dealing with people in my community in Florida, 650 homes, is the fact that they have a simple problem with their computer and they don't know how to use their search engine to find a solution. So what happens is they call me up and they say, Jerry, I got a problem with my computer. This is what it's doing. And I say, fine, give me a couple minutes, I'll call you back. I do a search on that problem as they described it. I find a solution, I call them back. They think I'm smart, but I use my search engine. Additionally, I have gone to Microsoft numerous times over the years and asked Microsoft for help. Now, you have to beware of going to Microsoft that you're using the right Microsoft. There are some websites out there that say they're Microsoft help, and they're not Microsoft, and they get to a point where they're asking you for money. So be careful of that. We have some self-help troubleshooting tips that I have for you today, and we'll cover those. We'll talk a little bit about beep codes and what your computer's trying to tell you. And then last but not least, I'm going to cover some very common problems and their solutions. Some easy fixes that you can do anytime. Capture the screen error. When something pops up on your screen, you need to capture that so that you can pass it on to somebody you're going to chat with from the keyboard of your computer or on the phone. How do you capture what's on the screen? You hit that key on your keyboard that says print screen. The print screen key does not print at that time. What it does is it captures the exact thing that is on your screen at that moment, and it saves it on the clipboard. If you have a pop-up on your screen and all you want to save is the pop-up, then of course you can push down the Alt key and hit print screen, and you only capture the active window. The captured image that you have, whether it's the whole screen or just the active screen, can be put into a word processor and saved or printed out. Now I suggest that when you do a print screen and you capture something, that you put it into WordPad. Why would you want to put it into WordPad? Simply because every Windows computer has WordPad on it. So if you're talking to a friend, you're talking to a neighbor from your computer, and you want to send them the information that you captured, you send it to them in WordPad. If they got a Microsoft Windows PC, they can read it. But you can use other graphic programs also. The clipboard is invisible. And every time you shut down your computer, you clear the clipboard. The clipboard is actually part of RAM. Okay? So, if you cut or copy anything from your computer, it goes to the clipboard. If you cut and copy a second thing, it wipes out the first thing, and the second thing is the only thing that's remaining on the clipboard. If you have not done work with your clipboard, you need to exercise that. Again, once the clipboard has the information of your problem, then you can open WordPad, right-click on a blank page, select Paste, and either save or print out the problem that your computer is showing you on the screen. If you haven't done this before, you can try it anytime, and you can see how the clipboard will capture everything on your screen. It's easier to try this if you haven't used print screen before. When you have a healthy computer, then training yourself to do it when you have a problem becomes more of a second nature. Search engine troubleshooting. Now, I happen to be a Google fan for search engines, but I'm talking about any search engine, okay? If you've got a problem with your computer, someone somewhere has already had the same problem, and they've probably got on the internet and asked a question and gotten some kind of answer. So when I have a problem with my computer, or somebody tells me that they have a problem with their computer, that's the first thing I do. As I get on my computer and I search for the description of the problem. Of course, the more specific you can be about searching on the internet for a problem, solution, the better your results are going to be. And I'll show you an example of that in a minute. Don't be afraid to put in lots of words to describe the problem in your search engine search. And sometimes it helps to understand what you were doing when the problem came up. Example, if you just downloaded a brand new program that you've never had before, and then all of a sudden you've got a problem with your computer and how it's operating, that could be the reason for the problem, the program you just downloaded. Okay? If when the problem occurs on your computer and it says some exact error message text, you can put the whole thing in there. If you get results, find it handy. If not, shorten it to just the required information. Keep on searching, and sooner or later, you're going to find a solution to your problem. Also, while I'm on the computer and I'm using it to troubleshoot a problem, I check with the vendor. All right? I tell the vendor nothing. Okay? In other words, if I'm going to chat with a vendor on a keyboard and the vendor is Microsoft, I don't say, when I was using Chrome, as my browser, the following problem occurred, because Microsoft's going to say, that's not our problem. Have a nice day. Okay. When I go to the vendor's website, I usually go to their FAQs, frequently asked questions. And a lot of times somebody has already had this problem. I see it there and I can come up with a solution that fixes my problem. Most vendors' websites also have product documentation associated with the program that you're running when you had a problem. Within that product documentation is a thing called a README file. The README file is important. The README file can tell you things like configuration instructions, installation instructions, operating instructions, contact information, known bugs in the software, troubleshooting problems, and a news section. News like, if you load this program onto your computer and you have the following 3 programs already on your computer, you're going to have a problem. The program you just loaded won't work right. That's contained in the README file if it doesn't exist. Also, user discussion forums can help you solve a problem. Now, there's some external websites from your vendor that will help you understand the software program that you're using, and this may help you troubleshoot the problem you're having. One of them is, of course, TechSoup. And if you put that into your search engine, you'll come up with the proper website, and again, they have articles, discussion forums, and technology that will help you understand the program that was running. All right. If you have an error code that comes up while you're troubleshooting, run the error code through the search engine. Okay, and you may come up with an answer that is exactly what you're looking for. Some of the error codes that you put in, of course, come from the operating system, and so you're going to be going to probably a Microsoft solution. When Microsoft gives solutions, they usually come out of their knowledge base, KB. Okay, run your question through the search engine, but be as specific as possible. All right, if you just downloaded a program and all of a sudden you're having a problem with your computer, then maybe you need to get on the internet and put in the name of that program followed by the word review and find out what other people are saying about that program. The name of the program followed by the word problems, and see what other problems people were having with that program. Or use the word troubleshooting. All these things help you narrow down all the possibilities that exist so that you can, in fact, troubleshoot this problem and fix it. Example. If you go to your search engine and you say printer not ready, which I did this the other day, I got 5,240,000 results. But if I was specific and I said Epson Workforce 500 printer not printing black, I got 2,700 or 277,000 results. The same thing with the error code. It went from 2,340 results to, I just added the information that said this was a Windows 8, and I got 126 results. My point with this presentation view graph right here is be specific as you can about the problem and what you're looking for. Microsoft can help, and in a lot of cases they help for free. Okay? They help with the operating system or any of their associated software. And this web page is a good place to start. They provide free help and support. It's not free if you have not met the requirements. And the requirements depend on whether you're in the mainstream phase of your software and your computer, in the extended phase, or in the non-support phase. Okay? The mainstream phase usually extends for about 5 years from the time the software came out. The extended phase can go for a period of at least 2 years prior to the software being obsolete as far as Microsoft is concerned. And we all should realize that Windows XP becomes obsolete in April of 2014. The non-support phase is reached when Microsoft says we're no longer going to support this, and then if you need help, they may want some money. Their self-help online support is available for a minimum of 8 years after Microsoft releases the program. It's free when certain conditions exist. And once you get a hold of Microsoft and you're either chatting with them or talking to them on the phone, they will explain to you what condition you're in and whether you get free help or not. I've used Microsoft numerous times and always been satisfied with what I can get from them. As you can see from the view graph here, you can talk about Windows, Internet Explorer, any of their Office products, Xbox, Skype, Windows Phone, doodah. You can find it yourself, you can ask the community, you can get live help. I mentioned before about Microsoft Knowledge Database. Okay, this knowledge base number 242450 is where you really need to start looking for some information about the problem you're having. You enter some keywords into this blank area here, and they come up with solutions that may fit your problem. The knowledge base is very extensive. Up until about 2009, the knowledge base was a 6-digit number. They had to go to a 7-digit number because of all of the articles that they have available. So now we're getting into the millions of articles that are available to you from the Microsoft Knowledge Database. Every time you get a Windows update, every Windows update has a KB number associated with it. And if you go on the internet and then put that KB number into your search engine, you'll get a display from Microsoft that in plain language will tell you what that update is all about. I find that very helpful when I'm trying to decide what Microsoft updates I will load and which ones I will not load. Examples of keywords. KB backup. You having problems with Microsoft and its backup program? There's a place to go. If you're going to put KB backup into your search engine, you need to do KB space backup. If you're going to put it into the previous page that I had up there, into this block, then you just want to use the KB backup, all as one word. Keep in mind that there are many keywords that aren't listed here. I just gave a few examples. I've gone to each one of these query word descriptions and found that the information there was very helpful. Microsoft is taking a very active interest in making sure that you can get the help you want or need to make the program run right. But you have to be careful when you go and you start dealing with Microsoft or talking to Microsoft or chatting with Microsoft. You want to be careful that you don't say things like, well, this other program I was using is made by so and so and such, because again, that's where it all stops. Now, you notice I put KB backup into the search here, and it came up with quite a few articles. What's the number there? 57,000 different articles on backup from Microsoft. So again, an extensive database. When you go on the internet and start searching for a solution to the problem you're having, it can be time consuming. It can take you a couple hours. Sometimes you're lucky and find a solution real quickly. Other times it can take a couple hours. So be patient. A couple hours is a whole lot better than $65 an hour for somebody else to fix it for you, in my opinion. Also, going to the manufacturer can be hard. But Microsoft supplies a computer manufacturer's contact information website. Right? So if your problem is not with Microsoft software, but it's with somebody else, then you can in fact go to this website and find out what their phone number is and also see their website. My next slide will show a sample of me going and putting in D, so all of the company names that are listed here, Dell Computer as an example, and here's their phone number, and here's their website. I find this very handy. Yes, I have a Dell computer, and then I have I actually have 3 different laptops, so I have 3 different resources to go to, and this is a handy place for me to be able to call them up or go to their website and get some help directly from the OEM, Original Equipment Manufacturer. Microsoft updates this list frequently. Now, if you want to talk to a human, this is the place to go for Microsoft. This is a good number, 800-642-7676. Once you go to the web page, and I'll show that to you in a minute, it says that your Get Human will always be 100% free. And if you want to make a contribution, they would appreciate it. If you want to say thanks, they would appreciate it. My experience has been that it's not always free, because sometimes when you're talking about going here, you got to be able to give Microsoft your service tag number, your express service code number, and based on that information, they can tell whether or not you are still eligible for free help or you got to pay them to give you the help that you need. Remember, Microsoft, this 800 number is located out in the Pacific time zone, and again, don't mention any other app that you're running when you're talking to Microsoft about a problem, because they're not going to try to help you fix some other program's problem. When you go to the Human Contact Info site on the internet, you get this kind of display. Now they change these displays frequently, or so often. And so this is what it looked like about 4 or 5 days ago. Notice you have two green buttons here. One green button says they will call you back. The other one says call free via the web. All right, so you can do the telephone number, you can have Microsoft call you back, or you can do a chat type of thing with them. I've used both the toll-free number and the chat. So this is the gethuman.com phone number, Microsoft tech support. That's what it looks like. Do you think your PC has a virus? One of the handiest tools that I've come across in dealing with Microsoft is their what they call safety scanner. It's a free downloadable security tool which you download on your computer. All right, and as soon as it's finished downloading, you run a scan. It helps remove viruses, spyware, and almost any other malicious software. It works with your existing antivirus software. Okay. Once the scan is finished, then you get a whole bunch of results out of it. And depending on how big your hard drive is, the scan can take, some time, hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, right? The Microsoft Security Scanner program that you download is only good for 10 days. And then, it's sort of like in a I won't run anymore self-destruct mode. To rerun a scan 10 days later, you just go back to the Microsoft Security Scanner website and download the program again. They do this for a couple reasons. Number one, they want to make sure that the program you're downloading has the latest updates based on their very active, proactive antivirus department that they've now added to the Microsoft company. Once you run the download and you have all these results, then you can call them up, and there's no charge, okay, for support calls that are associated with security updates. PC Safety is a toll-free number provided by Microsoft, assists customers in removing all this kind of stuff that you don't want on your computer. The only caveat that I've found, and I've used this program numerous times in helping people in my neighborhood with their computers, is that you have to use Internet Explorer to download the program. You have to use Internet Explorer to deal with Microsoft in this area. Okay? Their download will not support Mozilla Firefox or other browsers. This safety scanner program that they download and run on your computer is really top notch as far as I'm concerned. I've never had any problems with it. It's always worked well, and it does the job that you're looking for. This is what their safety scanner web page looks like. And this is where you, in fact, download now. And there's more information on this web page about what the scanner does, etc., etc. It's a good place to go. Like I say, I've used it numerous times to help people figure out what's wrong with their computer. Microsoft also has a Fix-It site, okay? And again, that's under Fix-It, English US, number tab 0. Judy Taylor talked earlier about using Google URL shortener, and you could probably do that here. Um, Thanks, Judy. I didn't know that existed, so from now on I'll use it in my presentations. But anyway, this is a good website also to go to. Um, you select a topic. Again, you can ask the community, or you can get live help. And the Fix It thing runs a program that usually clears up simple problems that you have on your computer. Self-troubleshooting. Okay, I got a problem. My computer's not acting right. I'm not too sure what it is. What am I going to do about it? Well, the first thing you want to do is close any open programs that you're not using. You might have left a program open. You can look at your taskbar and see it and go, gee. And the reason for that is simply this. Not all programs that you can load on your computer work well with other programs that are on your computer that also may be running. Just like not everybody in a room of 50 people gets along with everybody else in that room, not all software running on your computer gets along well with all the other software you have. If you have a program on your computer that's giving you fits with other programs, then you can uninstall it or delete it. If you have programs on your computer that you're not using, you can uninstall or delete it. I use Revo Uninstaller to do that. Why? Because Revo Uninstaller does a 4-step process of removing software off your computer. And the first thing it does is set a restore point for you so that if you made a mistake and reset or uninstall the wrong program, you can go back. Okay. The second thing it does is runs the uninstall program if available from the software manufacturer. The third thing it does is look for registry items that are left on your computer by the program that you just uninstalled, and then it looks for files left on your computer from the program that you just uninstalled. Right, so I uninstall and delete unwanted and unneeded programs off my computer on a regular basis. Sometimes, like Judy said in the previous presentation, you get programs that you didn't ask for. Stop programs in the system configuration startup file. Okay. msconfig is Microsoft's way of saying that we have a program that will tell you what your configuration is on your system. Okay. If you have some questions about this, you can look it up in Wikipedia. It's there. msconfig can disable or re-enable software, device drivers, and Windows services that run at startup. I'm going to show you an example of msconfig on my computer in a minute. And what you'll see is that I've stopped a lot of things from running in the background, and I can therefore be assured that I'm not having an interaction between two software programs, and that's what my problem is on my computer. Defragment your hard drive. Well, according to Microsoft, Windows 7 and Windows 8 automatically defrag your hard drives for you on a schedule. But sometimes you have to look that up on your computer to see if it's running properly. So in Windows 7 and Windows 8, if you're not too sure your defrag is running properly, then click on the Start button and then in the search bar type in the word defrag, and it'll bring up the information and tell you whether that automatic defrag is working properly or not. Run a registry cleaner. Just like Judy Taylor said earlier, if you believe in registry cleaners, fine and dandy, but there's a lot of people who find the necessity and usefulness of registry cleaners a controversial topic, and the experts are still in a disagreement over their benefits and risks. I run CCleaner or Glare Utilities. I run them both sometimes. I think they're non-aggressive. They've run on my computer and other people's computers I worked on numerous times. I've never had a problem. Next thing you want to do, scan for viruses and software and spyware, excuse me. Antivirus. You got a quick scan with your antivirus, run it frequently. You got a full scan with your antivirus, run it once a week. Every time I turn my computer on and I think there's a problem with some adware, malware, whatever, I run Malwarebytes. And then I eliminate those problems. When you have a problem with your computer, once you've pushed print screen and recorded what the problem is, you might try to reboot your computer. Go to restart. Restart your computer. When you restart your computer, it goes through post, power on startup test. If you just loaded some new software on your computer and now it's not operating correctly, your new computer or your computer, then uninstall the software and reinstall it a second time. If you downloaded software from the internet and it was a big piece of software and you're doing it wirelessly, you might have dropped a bit, had a corrupted file or something like that. And again, reboot, go to restart, start your computer up again, let post run, power on, startup test. Here's a sample msconfig off of my computer, and as you can see, I have quite a few programs down here that I'm not running in the background and just a few that I'm allowing to run in the background. You can look these programs up on the internet, and from what you read, you can find out whether or not you really want them running in the background or not. With Windows 7 or Windows XP, you can go to msconfig, and this is the kind of display you get when you have a Windows 8 computer and you type in msconfig. It says go to the task manager in Windows 8 and run it from the task manager. So either way, be aware that these are things you're running in the background. They eat up RAM. They take and make your computer run slower. The number of programs that you can stop from running in the background can help you with your performance on your computer. Beep codes. A beep code is the computer talking to you and saying, I got a problem and you need to help me. Now, one of the first things I do when I have a problem with my computer and it's still running is I turn on the speakers, or I turn up the speakers to make sure that I can hear anything going on with my computer. When you restart your computer, it goes through, like I said, a post, power on self-test, all right? And it makes sure that all your hardware is working properly and that you have system normal. If the post passes, sometimes you get, depending on who makes your motherboard, or you get no beeps, 2 beeps, whatever. If it fails, you can get a different kind of beep code, a long beep, a short beep, continuous short beeps. You got to count the number of beeps that come out, and this will lead you to what my problem is. All right? Examples of beep codes from one manufacturer. If you want to know what your beep codes are on your computer, you can find that out on the internet. And they vary depending on who made the motherboard. So you listen for the beep codes. Suggestions when you have a healthy PC. When your PC is working right, then I suggest that you do these different things that I've already mentioned so that in fact, when you are under a little pressure because your computer's not acting right and you have a problem, this is not the first time you've gone to supportmicrosoft.com. It's not the first time you've run a safety scan. It's not the first time that you've gone to fix it or looked up a phone number. You do these things beforehand, it takes the stress out of it, when in fact, you need to do it for real. Run msconfig. Stop software that's running in the background. Free up your computer. Open the task manager. See what is running. If you see a program in your task manager is running and you don't know what it is, jot down the name of it, look it up on the internet, find out. Okay? Make sure your software is up to date. So many people that I help in my neighborhood don't understand about keeping their software up to date, and that's one of their biggest problems with the computer running top-notch performance. I use a program called Ninite, Ninite, and this helps me keep updates on all my computer programs. Run antivirus scans on a regular basis. I run a full scan on all my computers on a weekly basis. Right? And I usually find something. Nothing traumatic, usually just some advertising that I got on the computer because I went to a website. I run safe mode on a regular basis. And safe mode is a mode that is on your computer that starts the minimum amount of software needed to make your computer run. And safe mode can help you isolate a problem because of a driver or some other piece of information, software or hardware, that is causing a problem with your computer. Perform a system restore, just like Judy said in an earlier presentation. If you haven't done a system restore, do one while your computer's healthy. And then when you have to do it under pressure, it's a whole lot easier to perform. Use the print screen thing. Use the print screen thing and play with it. It's really fun. I go to the internet sometimes, see something that I want to save on a web page, etc. I hit print screen. And then when I get off the internet, it's still on the clipboard and I can save it. Common problems. And I'm running out of time. All right. You plug something into your computer and it doesn't work. Plug it into another port. Make sure whatever you plugged into your computer is on. I've had a lot of people take their digital camera, hook it up to their computer with a cable, and it doesn't register. Well, you got to turn the camera on to make sure that it registers with your computer. You just downloaded a program on your computer and it won't run. Restart your computer. Reinstall it. Really just covered that. You see an error message. Save the error message. Search for it. Your computer is refusing to start up. A lot of people are buying laptops nowadays, and I've seen this problem numerous times. If your battery on your laptop is got a major problem, sometimes your computer won't start up. So when people call me and say, Jerry, my laptop won't start up, I don't know what's wrong, I say to them, turn your laptop over, take the battery out, plug the power cord in, restart your computer, and it fixes it. And again, like I said, try safe mode. Safe mode is very good for isolating hardware and software problems. Your PC's acting funny, not normal behavior. Scan it. Run a system restore. Your keyboard and mouse do not respond. Restart. Check your batteries. Sometimes I've had people call me up. I go over to their house. The keyboard works fine, but their mouse won't. The battery's dead in their mouse because they were using the wireless. Simple solutions. Review. You can fix your own PC problems. You don't always have to take it down to the local shop or pay big bucks for having somebody else fix it. Try to remember, what's the last thing that I did before my problem came up? Check all my connections. I've gone over to people's houses and they said the printer wouldn't work. And that's because the cable fell out of the back of the printer that went from the computer to the printer. Or, my laptop doesn't work anymore. It won't even come on. And I go over to their house and the power cord was unplugged. Somebody turned off the power strip, the surge protector. Chat with your original equipment manufacturer. Email them. Chat with them on the internet. In most cases, they're very helpful. Microsoft can help. Turn your speakers on so you can hear what's going on with your computer. Sometimes it talks to you. Go slow and be calm. Everything is fixable. If you have questions on troubleshooting your computer, please email me. Program, lscs@gmail.com. My name is Jerry Minnick, and thank you very much.
Okay, Jerry, thank you. We did have a question earlier. Someone who still has a Windows XP machine, and he's wondering what he should upgrade to.
All right, that's a good question. You should upgrade by really buying another computer. Windows XP architecture, i.e. the hardware that's built into the Windows XP computers, does not support a lot of the programs that are going on now in Windows 7 and Windows 8. In a lot of cases, Windows XP does not even support 64-bit programs at all. So it's best to go to a Windows 7 machine. That's my recommendation, okay? I have a Windows 8. I'm doing my presentation today on a Windows 8. I like Windows 8. There's not a lot of people that do. I have a Windows 7 laptop also, okay? It's hard to buy a Windows 7 computer from the local store, etc., but you can go to different websites and Newegg, as an example, and get a Windows 7 computer. That's the way to go. I'm convinced that Microsoft will support Windows 7 through 2020. And according to their support webpage, that's what they're advertising right now. Windows XP, the most popular Windows program that Microsoft ever made. There's still millions of people using them, but come April 2014, Microsoft is not going to support it anymore. They're not going to send out any updates to it anymore, and you're at your own risk from that date on.
Okay, I just assumed that we're just having people kind of give their opinions. Some people like Dell computers, some people hate them. There's also someone suggesting that if it's an older machine, you may want to put a version of Linux on it, such as Peppermint or Ubuntu. Um, so if you have an older computer and want to extend the life of it, Linux is not as demanding on the hardware requirements, and that might be a solution.
Oh yeah, Dave Gerber said that the local computer store will build a laptop, and I find that true. Down in Florida, we have a thing called Refresh Computers, and they'll build you almost anything. So yeah, that's a good resource, Dave. Thanks for the comment. I have a couple Dells. I've never had any problems with Dells. I'm extremely lucky, I guess. I've never lost a hard drive. Judy Taylor said in the hour earlier she just lost three. I've never lost a hard drive on a Dell computer. So, um, you know, Jerry, are you going to post the PowerPoint file for download? Yes, I will post the
Yes.
PowerPoint file for download through APCUG. If anybody else wants it, you can get it from me. Just email me and tell me what form you want it in: PDF, WordPad outline, whatever, and I will send it to you. I have no reservations at all about people using my presentations. Thanks,
Yeah.
Marie. After 15 years of using Dell, I've also never had lost a hard drive.
And if you wait 1 second, I'll put the link up
All
of
right.
where the presentations will be.
Yeah.
APCG2.org/content/BTC8. That is where you'll find the videos when we have them up. That's also where we'll have the slides as well as any handouts from all of today's sessions. So if you've been staying here in track 1 all day and you wanted to see what was going on in track 2, when we have the videos up, you'll be able to watch them at your leisure. You can also use the videos at your user group meeting. If for some reason whoever is going to do a presentation cancels at the last minute or you run out of an idea, please feel free to use our videos. That's why we're putting them up there, so people can make use of them.
All right. I would just like to take a second, Jim. You still got my microphone on, and say that I appreciate being a part of APCUG and their virtual conferences. This is not my first time. I think it's my third. Um, I hear from people after they're all done. I appreciate all the work that you and Judy and Huey and Francis have put into this. Thank you very much.